So we're out here early as fuck in the morning. Yes, let's go. Let's fucking go. Hey, nobody's out here. This is dedication. Let's go. What time is it? It's like
5:30.
5 in the morning. Hey, this is Genesis.
Hi.
Man, we gotta get you in some light. Hey, let's fucking go. We ain't even on the mountain yet. She's talking about. She's talking. Let's run through the parking lot, goddamn. But yeah, I like what you just said about gotta take care of yourself first.
Yeah, absolutely. Hello.
I'm always speaking about self-love and putting yourself before anybody else before you start giving your energy to people.
That's true.
Like, you don't necessarily have to get up early to do that, but it makes sense because once the day starts flowing, if you got responsibilities and things, everybody's trying to pull your energy different directions. So if you get up before everybody else, then it's like, all right, y'all can't bother me during this time.
Absolutely. And when you invest in yourself first, you actually have more to invest into someone else because you filled your cup, overfilled your cup. You're ready.
Yes.
Yes.
Let's go. Damn, I got my flash on. I still can't see shit. Let me see if y'all can see y'all. Okay, this is what Stone Mountain looks like at 5 a.m.
No, I wouldn't have never.
Oh shit! I'm about to. This looks like the damn Blair Witch Project on this fucking.
I was thinking.
By the time we get to the top, it should be a little bit of sunlight. Okay.
Oh, I'm out of breath already. Woo. Woo.
We ain't even got to the big rocks yet. So apparently you have a new mother and father. This is her mother.
That would be me, Genesis.
And I am her father. We turned around too quick. She's like, Mom and Dad.
Where are you, my dear? My name came from Genesis, which reflects my transformation from spiritual to now the physical, which is also reflected in the Bible, how God, from being a spiritual being, spoke life into the physical world.
So wait, that's like your name you came up with for yourself?
Yes. I have a lot of different ideas, and most of them they revolve around serving others in whichever way that I can serve them. From a professional standpoint, I create training, but when I look at the depth of what training does is it changes behavior, and so I naturally do that within myself, and I encourage that in other people. So you do that through knowledge, you do that through faith and experience.
I'm glad you said something about you actually coming up with a name because, okay, I used to manage a movement called The Progression. Now I don't really manage it as a group. It's just more of like my mindset and how I believe, my lifestyle. And the 3 pillars of progression are unity, inspiration, amplification. Everybody that joined the progression had to come up with a PKA name. That was like part of your initiation into the group. And in doing the PKA name, it made you identify yourself. You had to name yourself, and I don't feel like people do that enough. I know people who are artists, because I'm an artist. Everybody comes up with it's almost like you become another person, but it's still you. It's like an
avatar.
Yeah, you become a superhuman version of yourself, which is still you, because we all are here to be super. You're not here to just be normal. You're here to evolve into the best form of yourself, and that person has an identity. And it might not be the identity, or it's never the identity that somebody else is giving you.
Absolutely.
Of course, the name that your parents give you, that's special. Those are the people that created you, and they gave you a name. But at some point, everybody has to define who they are.
Exactly.
And that's a very important part of finding yourself. Because everything in this society is built off like labels and names and titles. So how you define yourself matters. So when you come up with that, it's almost like, I remember when I stopped calling myself Frenchie and I started going as Gene. And I remember the first few times when I was introducing myself to people and using the name Gene, it felt good because it felt like who I was at that person or at that moment. And it's who I'm going to be moving forward for the rest of my life, and I feel like that person. So I want to encourage everybody to do that. Like, name yourself, figure out who you are.
How did you come up with the name Gene?
It comes from genius. My mom was the first one to call me a musical genius. So when I was coming up with my PKA name for the progression, I turned genius into a name and I spelled it Jeenyuz. So for a while I was Frenchie PKA genius. I would put that on all my art, and then after a while I was like, that's too long of a name. Then I started just going by Genius. And then I got tired of calling myself Genius. It wasn't speaking to me at the time. I just wanted a name that could just represent me without any preconceived.
Gene and Jen!
You know, I peeped that when you was calling her Jen. I was like, that sound kind of like Gene. So basically, it was just me chopping Genius in half because I felt like I needed to cut that identity away. So I literally just cut it in half and turned it into a name where you say it, but you don't have any preconceived like thought of who I am. It's stages to your evolution. You can't be afraid to change it up.
Absolutely.
You get too connected to certain, because it was hard for me to get rid of that name because it meant something to me. It still does. It's connected to something that I was building at the time, and there was a lot of history and a lot of time invested into being that person. But your spirit is going to tell you when it's time to switch up.
Absolutely.
And you know, when I created the Purpose Walk, I thought about them because I feel like, you know, they help me so much mentally, physically, spiritually, and I just feel like they're progressive people. You have to surround yourself with progressive people in order to grow. Absolutely. And you'll be at the edge of the earth as well.
Absolutely.
Exactly. You too can be at the edge of the earth.
Leading by example. Somebody said, why would you change your name?
Right.
You tell them why you changed it.
Mm-hmm.
And then they too can be inspired to change theirs.
You too can re-identify yourself. Now it does come a point where I'm not gonna change my name anymore. Like I've reached a point where this is who I am. Like from a business standpoint, you do got to find something you can stick to, because if you're building a brand, you can't just be switching your brand name. You know what I mean? But there is a process. I feel like I'm 32, so your 20s are a big period of self-discovery, and you're figuring out who you are, what you want to call yourself, what are you doing in the world. And that whole process of doing that, you're gonna figure out like parts of that you want to switch up. It ain't gonna be the same thing. It's rare that somebody ends up with the same name or same style or whatever you're building in your early 20s, and then you in your 30s still calling yourself the same thing or doing the same thing. That's very rare, because you're growing. You're still learning your talents. You probably ain't even found all the things that you're good at when you're in your 20s.
When I first came out, like in the entertainment industry, my alter ego was Sweet Pea, because I was on some other shit. And I felt like that described me. And so as I've been,
we at the top of the mountain.
I think it's foggy as shit. Yeah, this is the top.
And I didn't even realize. I'm like, where's the incline?
It's foggy.
We here?
Yeah.
Oh, but
yeah, man,
so
it's foggy. Can't
y'all
see
better
me.
listen to my story.
I know. I'm listening.
So when I you know, I'm 40 now, and so I feel like I am Patricia Rosario, and that's going to be my website, because I feel like I already am who I am. Woo! I'm out of breath. Yeah, so I feel like I'm getting back to the basics of who I am and knowing that everything I already have is in me.
Absolutely. Now that I like that story too, because now you've integrated. Like you went somewhere else and then you were these things, but you integrated back into one. Whereas for me, I was more so discovering, because see, when you have the wrong people around you, and you are who you are, but because they see who you are and they sometimes are threatened by who you are, they start throwing all this other stuff at you. And when you internalize that, you lose yourself. I went through a process of losing myself, becoming a shell of who I was.
Yeah.
So that's again plays into why I named myself Genesis, because it was an evolution of who I was and who I am and my finding myself.
And that's funny because, like I said, me being in the entertainment industry, I feel like sex sells, so I feel like I had to do extra stuff in order to project who I am, in order to get sales and recognition, and it did work. However, I feel like I could have, I did what I did, so I'm grateful for that. So, but now I'm back to the basics.
And you have a story to tell, and you'd be surprised who you can reach that has done or is doing the same thing. So that's the purpose. That's what it's all about.
What I was about to talk about earlier when you were saying confidence. Remember she said confidence, and we was about to go in on that? Confidence comes through action. Like you have to, because I was confident to a certain point. Like I knew what I wanted to do. I knew I was doing music and I was doing graphics. And and that was the core and foundation of what I was going to be offering through my business. But when I first started my business, there's more to business than just doing what you're good at. Now you gotta know how to talk to people and present yourself and be confident, put a price on it, like talk business with people. And that was new for me, so that shit had me feeling very small, like I was not confident. It was times like I would be nervous just to have business calls.
Yeah.
Like I would be real awkward. I don't know if they could pick up on that energy, but I remember talking to people on the phone and they sound so confident on the phone and they're able to like dictate the business conversation, and I'm just kind of like, you know, kind of stuttering or stumbling because it's my first time doing that. So although I was confident in myself, I wasn't confident in showing myself professionally around other professionals and really owning my business. But it was because I kept doing it. I kept having those uncomfortable conversations and practicing. That's really what it is. You have to practice, and the more you practice, the better you get at it, and you become more confident.
That's Herbert. That's my friend. That's what he does. He blows the horn
That's
wherever
your
he goes.
friend.
He's my friend. He's crazy, okay? He thinks he's the son of God. Well, he may be the son of God.
Oh, that's what you were talking about? Girl, stop.
Herbert!
Listen, look at her screaming through the crowds.
What's the prophet name? Isaiah something is a prophet. That's his middle name, and that's who he says that he is. I can help.
Elijah?
Elijah!
There's nothing wrong with not being confident. It's something wrong with using your lack of confidence to keep you from moving.
Elijah! I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying, though?
It's like I know who I am. I have all this potential, and I know I can go further than I am right now.
Quit your job. Let's go.
It's another thing. It's the difference between knowing and doing. And the doing was the part that I had to practice. I had to practice being uncomfortable, and now I love being uncomfortable because I know that right there is an opportunity for me to gain something.
You better talk that talk, Genesis.
Yes.
You better talk that talk. Let's go.
Saying all the time because I was overthinking. Like,
Right.
just go, just be you. Be
You know who you are, right?
Yes.
Be authentic, yes.
Let's go!
Yo, you should have told Touch do that shit.
He came back from Israel. He got a horn and he goes around, but he had like a whole ensemble on. So I'm like, that
Let's
ain't him,
go.
but your face look like him.
Hey, the spirit is one. The spirit don't make one or nothing.
I know that's
You know what I'm
Come
saying?
on, man. Come on, bro. Blow the horn one time, bro.
You know what I'm saying? Shabbat Shalom to Israel, to all the people that love Yah, love God, peace on earth, justice and righteousness. You know what I'm saying? Only through righteousness will we have true power.
Yes,
Right.
blood
Yes,
horn.
let's go.
Let's go!